How about Jake? What do you think of Jake?
Clown.
Yeah.
He's a clown. But I know that Jake can't fight.
Can't
So
fight. is what
he
you're saying.
can't fight.
Started the rigged fights rumor. He's the one that started the steroids rumor. So
Yeah, he did have all of us thinking that you was rigging those fights, though. I ain't gonna lie, he right about that.
but how did you
How could he
honestly
rig a
believe
fight?
that? You honestly believe that?
I wanted to believe it when you fought Woodley.
You know, but me, I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm just gonna keep it 100, man. Jake Paul is fugazi. He's fake.
That's how you feel.
Truly feel. I'll bust him up and his trainer.
Gervonta Davis went straight at Jake Paul with zero filter after fresh claims started circulating that Paul's fights are fixed, and he didn't hold back at all. Davis openly questioned Paul's legitimacy in boxing, making it clear he doesn't believe Jake can compete at a true professional level in any way. In Davis's view, Paul is more of a sideshow than a real fighter, someone who relies on hype, promotion, and carefully selected opponents instead of genuine boxing skill or experience. What makes these comments stand out is how they reflect the growing criticism that has been surrounding Paul for some time, while also emphasizing the sharp divide between proven champions like Davis, who earned their status through years of elite competition, and social media-driven fighters who enter the sport through fame and massive followings, but with credentials that many still see as questionable.
I was training for something like this. Obviously, smaller guy. How was this in the training aspect, Jake?
Yeah, there's a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed.
He warming up.
We're
now.
sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up. Warm up.
Some
I know
8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna beat Jaden on Love ass. On my mama, I'm gonna beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. You know, he laughing.
What are you talking about? What does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't gotta say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm gonna show you and him.
Jake Paul didn't stay silent in the face of the criticism and instead confronted the allegations directly, dismissing the idea that his fights are scripted as completely ridiculous. He strongly emphasized that fixing fights isn't just unethical but outright illegal and totally unrealistic in modern professional boxing. Paul explained that no serious fighter with a legitimate career would ever agree to throw a match because the consequences would be devastating and career-ending. According to him, these rumors are fueled by pure hate and a deep misunderstanding of how boxing actually operates, and he admitted he spent a lot of time trying to understand why people continue to believe such extreme narratives despite there being no evidence. He made it clear that the accusations are entirely baseless, lacking any foundation in reality, and argued that fans who keep pushing the idea of fake fights are motivated by negativity and personal bias rather than any factual proof from his career or any documented wrongdoing.
But anyone who believes that narrative, it's like, come on, it's a federal crime. It's illegal. Like, and you think Anderson Silva's gonna lose? You think Woodley's gonna take a fall? You guys, you know these guys.
Yeah, no, I didn't think Anderson would take a fall, but
you think
why are you passing me?
But you think, but people think the Mike Tyson fight's rigged. You think Mike Tyson's gonna?
No, I don't think Mike Tyson would ruin his. Why are you putting out glizzies?
Don't ever disrespect him talking about fake fights.
You want one of these glizzies?
No, but I'm genuinely interested in the people. I try to understand, like.
No, everybody's saying Mike Tyson pulled his punches.
I try to understand dumb people because I can't relate. Like, I really genuinely spend parts of my day like trying to like see people online and like think like, how could someone be so dumb? And I still don't get it.
No, I think people wanted to believe that. That's what.
This is where the conversation becomes especially intriguing, because the idea of a potential clash between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul has existed in a strange space somewhere between pure spectacle and legitimate competition. During a press setting tied to their ongoing verbal back and forth, Davis made it clear that restrictions and controlled conditions are what separate performance from reality inside the ring. He suggested that if a fight were allowed to unfold freely, without boundaries, scripts, or any of the controlled elements people claim exist, the outcome would speak for itself and leave no room for debate. The implication behind his words wasn't subtle at all. Davis positioned himself as a fighter whose success doesn't rely on protection, manipulation, or carefully selected opponents, but on complete freedom and authenticity in the ring. When you really listen to what he's saying, The contrast becomes impossible to ignore between a career built on sanctioned competition and real risk, and one shaped by managed opportunities and carefully controlled narratives.
What does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't got to say it up here. Let anything happen. And I'm going to show you.
Tim Bradley didn't hold back at all when he openly called out Jake Paul in a moment that quickly went viral, labeling him as fake without hesitation and arguing that Paul's fights lack real competitive legitimacy in the eyes of the boxing establishment. Bradley's stance was blunt and unfiltered, and it was clear he meant every word. Despite Paul's massive hype, promotional power, and ability to generate huge pay-per-view numbers, Bradley believes the level of opposition Jake has faced doesn't come close to genuine professional competition at the championship level. In his view, Paul's career has been built far more on spectacle, entertainment, and social media buzz than on taking truly challenging fights against elite opponents in their prime. That's exactly why so many established fighters and longtime boxing purists remain deeply skeptical of Paul's standing as a legitimate boxer. Bradley's criticism underscores a central debate in modern boxing that isn't going away anytime soon. Whether fame and ticket sales should earn real respect inside the ring, or whether that respect can only be earned through the traditional path of rising through tough, proven competition.
What it was when he first signed the fight. This ain't the first time he had battered against a woman. You knew what it was when you first signed the fight. So don't get mad and cuss him out and talk bad about him now. You knew what it was when you signed up for it. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do that. Nobody talk. I don't talk bad about him either, but don't do the dude like that. No, the dude having a hard time in his life right now. Don't just do him like that. You know what I mean? Because you knew exactly what he was when you signed him to fight the first time.
Despite all the noise and wild speculation spreading across social media, Nick Issa Bidarian stepped in to clear up a major rumor surrounding Jake Paul's high-profile bout with Anthony Joshua, and his statement left little room for doubt. Widespread claims had suggested the fight was rigged or scripted to favor one side for entertainment value and manufactured controversy. But Bidarian firmly and categorically denied those accusations. He made it clear that neither Jake Paul nor his team engaged in any wrongdoing or attempted to manipulate the outcome in any way, stressing that the idea of the Paul-Joshua fight being pre-planned or predetermined is completely false and has no basis in reality. This clarification matters because many fans were quick to accuse promoters and fighters of engineering a result purely for views, social media buzz, and financial gain, and Bidarian's statement directly shuts down those conspiracy theories by confirming the fight was treated as a legitimate athletic contest with real stakes and real consequences for both fighters involved.
I can't knock your hustle when you built something outside of boxing and you say, hey, yo, I'm coming over here to the sport now, and I'm going to pick and choose who I fight. Y'all come follow me. If they follow him, man, I just understand what it is. I know what I'm looking at. You're not gonna fool me over here. Save that stuff for them other people, because I'm not gonna believe that I'm the face of. No, you're not the face of boxing. I'm not giving you that because that's for a lifer.
But that's what he believes.
That's cool. I can't knock him for that. People believe a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying, you can do all the rah-rah stuff. That's your business. But I just know what I'm looking at, right? But on the monetary side and it being an event, the truth is that when he does fight, it does bring attention around the sport. People debate, they argue, people want to see the fight. Is it legit? Is it him and Mike Tyson? No, it's an event.
Building on that point, the fight itself demonstrated just how real and consequential this matchup truly was, because there was absolutely nothing staged about what happened in the ring. Jake Paul suffered a devastating knockout at the hands of Anthony Joshua, breaking his jaw in the process and requiring immediate medical attention. Ariel Helwani analyzed the result in his typical thorough style, noting that Joshua's victory was not surprising at all when considering the credentials and experience of both fighters, and that Paul simply wasn't equipped to match someone of Joshua's caliber. According to Helwani, who has covered boxing for years, Joshua is a world-class heavyweight with extensive experience at the absolute highest level of the sport, and the outcome was a straightforward reflection of that reality. There was nothing controversial or unexpected about the result. Rather, the way Paul was stopped highlighted the stark gap between an elite, seasoned heavyweight champion and a fighter relatively new to boxing's toughest division. Helwani argued, and it's a valid point, that Paul's prior victories over former MMA fighters were not reliable indicators of his ability to compete consistently at the elite level represented by someone like Anthony Joshua.
I've seen the script, rigged, this, that, and the other. Do you think now, at the very least, that talk goes away? Broke his jaw, went in there against Anthony Joshua. At the very least, do you think that you guys can move on from that? Like, that won't follow you?
No, I don't. I actually, our lawyers are actively going after a number of people. One who claims to be a lawyer himself online. I don't remember the name or the handle, but it was something that had like 200,000 likes. And basically this post said there was an agreement for AJ not to knock out Jake, but AJ disregarded the agreement and decided to not get his payday, but knock out Jake Paul. So it's pretty astonishing what people say. Your dear friend Lou DiBella, saw him put up a bunch of ridiculous things and even said, Nikisa, go ahead and sue me. But this wasn't a real fight. He was pulling punches. He wasn't giving it his full effort.
And so for the people, again, just to clear this up, because I asked Eddie this question, I'll ask you the exact same question. Once and for all, was there any sort of arrangement as far as it should go this many rounds? Because that's the one that I've heard. Oh, Anthony agreed to 3 rounds, 4 rounds. Can you tell us in black and white if there were any talks of any kind between the network, the promotion, the fighter?
There has never once in Jake Paul's career been any talk of that sort, of anything to do with the fight being anything but a real fight that has exactly the same situation as any professional fight. And that's exactly the same thing here for the Anthony Joshua fight. It's just beyond mind-blowing that people would think that. Anthony Joshua was on record saying that if he didn't finish him in the first round, that would be disappointing, that it would be a failure. The narrative changed as we got closer to fight night and obviously post-fight, and I understand why, but they were pretty adamant it would take max 2 rounds to knock.
After the dust settled and the public had time to process the fight, media commentator Luke Thomas emerged as one of the most critical and outspoken voices in the conversation. He took strong issue with the positive attention Jake Paul was receiving from certain media outlets and segments of the fan base, arguing that simply stepping into the ring with someone like Anthony Joshua should not automatically earn Paul praise or respect. Instead, Thomas emphasized that fans and analysts need to examine what the fight truly represented once the hype and spectacle are stripped away. He argued passionately that the narrative suggesting Paul proved something by sharing a ring with Joshua completely overlooks the larger context. Paul was outclassed in every department, stopped decisively, and exposed the serious limitations of his boxing development when facing a true elite opponent who has competed at the championship level for years. Thomas believes that the applause Paul received from some corners of the boxing media is, at best, premature and, at worst, misleading, and that a more critical and honest evaluation is essential for anyone seeking to understand Paul's actual standing in the sport, adding his perspective to the ongoing debate that continues to divide the boxing world.